Welcome to this episode of Skald's Tale Eclipse. I am Christopher Rondeau, the main storyteller for this game and the owner of Skald's Tale Entertainment LLC. Skald's Tale is a brand that transcends all kinds of stories in all sorts of mediums, and we're happy to bring you this Pathfinder 2nd Edition game. Before we jump in, we do want to take a moment and thank our musical partners. First and foremost is Harrison Scannell, who has written our theme music, as well as some character themes that will be featured later on in the season. We have ambiance tracks by Tabletop Audio that provides these 10-minute clips that are amazing and really can set a mood, as well as some incidental tracks by battlebards.com. We do have a couple artists we used as well. Gabriel Picker kind of provides our background maps. Philip Wright does provide some of our maps as well, and David North provides some tokens that we are able to use and create. Lastly, we do want to thank TTRP Theater, who has allowed us to use their creative space. You can check out the links of their shows down below or on social media, where you'll get live updates of anything going on within that channel. Skald's Tale Eclipse is also part of the Roll20 Creator Spotlights and is part of their Spotlight program. So if you look up Roll20 Spotlights, the hashtag on Twitter, you'll see a whole bunch of shows, including ours, that are part of that program, and we encourage you to take a look at those and see what may interest you. But now, let us start our show. Bad things happen in darkness. What is unseen is perhaps the most scary. Often I look out into the darkness and wonder what terrors await me. I often wonder during those early days what would happen without the protection of the light, and what would happen to the world. It was a fateful day when the world turned dark, when the flock of ravens appeared to distract us from the true horrors that were to come. The day the sun turned dark, blocking our only protective shielding. I remember the day well. People were initially okay until the weight of the consequences sat in. When dark things began to arise and unexplainable phenomena happened. Chaos ensued and people pointed to the kings and queens for answers. However, this was only the start. Creatures that only can exist in darkness made their way to the public eye. Some with altruistic intentions and others with wicked plans. I am here to tell you the story of the day that the sun was taken from us and the ensuing weeks that followed. A story of heroes and villains that defined history. Please hear the story and hear the events that transpired during these foreboding times. For I have the true story, not the lies you may have heard. My name is Christopher Rondeau, and welcome to Skald's Tale Eclipse. Last session, we have left this cave filled with conjured spiders, these drow, these creatures that normally only come out for in the middle of the night because of their natural allergy to the sun. And as we left, we were able to accomplish getting the mushrooms and plants and funguses out that we need from them. But something happened. The fortune-telling orb that Denamira has began to summon magic on its own, as if some ambient energy went into it to channel a spell, much like she does for her normal casting, but something that happened seemingly on its own. And as we looked into it, we saw this man murder this goblin and seemingly eat its blood, its life force, largely undetermined what actually was coming out, but it was this like dark red substance that he was able to bring into a small packed ball and swallow whole. The vision ends at that moment as the party tries to interpret what's happened. We are going to start with trying to decipher magic, decipher spell, and as you look at it, trying to interpret what sort of dark magic he tried to use. Recognize spell. You recognize an old ritual, and this is a ritual supposedly if you were to put a body in the center of a magic circle, specifically a magic user, preferably a spontaneous caster, you can begin to forcibly bleed out the target. And then through bleeding out the targets, the blood that comes out, assuming the target is alive, can create this alchemical component. This alchemical component can be made into potions, other sort of rituals, and there's this gruesome thing, which is why it's illegal, of just simply just skinning a target for its blood while the target is alive. And you recognize this as an old ritual, very dark, very gruesome, but it doesn't have that hours-long process that this particular thing did. This was pretty instantaneous. It happened over the course of maybe 30 seconds at most, but we recognize that it is the same type of ritual, just much quicker and without the magic circle. But we stand right outside this cave. There is 4 of us, and why don't you take it away?
I know that's what he did. Did you all see that?
Yes, I was going to question what sort of orbs you're keeping.
It's just a focus. It's like me without the focus, or the focus without me shouldn't be capable. It's bonded to me. I don't know how another being, I guess, is connected to it. But
did someone have it before you?
My father.
Did someone have it before him?
I assume his father?
Also, there's certainly other people that might be bonded to it.
Yeah, but they should be pretty far away.
I'm just glad that I'm not the only one who saw it. For a moment there, I was starting to question these mushrooms.
That was a very powerful spellcaster. His spell mimicked a ritual that takes hours and a magic circle as a focus, and he did it almost instantaneously.
Oh, certainly. Whoever that person is quite adept at the arcane arts.
Misty brings up a good point. He did have a tattoo on his forehead, which was an eye, and then we saw the eye open when he was channeling his magic, as if the tattoo itself was part of his focus. If you want to, we can take a religion check from anyone who's trained in it, which is probably just Doc.
While he's making a roll, I have a question. Didn't you mention, am I confusing, that he also had some sort of tattoos over his hands?
He also had 2 on his wrist. On his left wrist, he had a dragon's head, and on his left wrist, this is my left. On the left wrist, he has a sea serpent, and on his right, he has the dragon's head.
I'm gonna spend a
that
hero
doesn't
point to
sound
reroll.
familiar.
Well, the dragon and the sea serpent itself is reminiscent of Raksha, which is the god of the natural plane,
And Siren is kind of his counterpart. Siren is not, it is more deityhood, but is supposedly of equal power to Raksha. But we kind of have in the natural plane this good and evil force, Raksha, which is like a metal dragon, and Siren, which is like this sea serpent that kind of clash at each other. And if he has these two tattoos, a lot of people sometimes get these tattoos as kind of a way of self-balance. So
Okay.
like like yin and yang, think of it like that.
Okay.
Doc, with a 25, this is a very, very old ancient symbolism for the moon, Luna, who is sometimes known as like the all-seeing god or something like that. And some people had symbolism of eyes that represented her. She most often now goes by the symbolism of a moon or something like that. But some old text would have implied simply an eye to represent her knowledge domain.
Given that Borg saw this man fully, tattoos and everything like that, is the man... Does the man's appearance fit any kind of nobleman that he might know?
Not a nobleman. You can give me a society check.
While he's making the check, I also have another question.
Sure.
Was a word thief maker mentioned in the vision?
Yes,
If I remember correctly.
it was.
Okay.
It says I'm looking for the thief maker.
He's
Um,
looking for.
You kind of recognize this figure. It's not anyone from a noble family, but you've heard rumors of people who participate in crime, particularly in this kingdom, the Kingdom of Million. Someone who is kind of known as a pale assassin, who supposedly has a lot of piercings, and I believe I described him with a chain between his lip to his ear. That kind of gives you the symbolism of the pale assassin, this high-end killer for hire. Doesn't do many jobs, but when he does it with expertise. And that's given away mostly by the earrings and the chain. It's not he's not a nobleman or any sort of that, but he targets a lot of high-end people, particularly high officials. It is rumored that when one of the noble families passed, he may have something to do with it. Maybe some 3-4 years ago, probably where you heard of him first.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna turn to the group after my mushroom statement.
That man, I'm pretty sure he's an assassin. I've heard his description, and it fits. I know that he is hired sometimes, but he deals mostly with the high end. So, why kill a goblin?
And why are we being shown this? Are we meant to do something about it?
Whoever this man is, he has knowledge of the ancient religion, or the more ancient parts of the sister religion to my own, that of Luna. That symbol on his forehead was used by the followers in times long past. But what that means now, I'm not quite sure.
Borg is going to attempt to look very, very thoughtful, and he's going to stare into the middle distance while rubbing his face like so.
Maybe the standing stones will have some answers?
Why would the stones have answers?
Well, they were going to we were going there for answers about this whole destiny or prophecy or whatever that we're a part of with the marks.
Were we
I'm
going to
still
the
also
stones or we were going to the north?
No, the north is
We
later.
are.
First, we're going to the Standing Stones to learn about the monks, then to the lake to watch a woman dance with a sword and find a boy, and
A girl.
then
But what if this thing we
Oh,
just
boy.
saw? What if
Uh-huh.
this thing we just saw
Uh-huh.
is a sign that we need to skip everything what we planned and find that person who we just saw? I think we should befriend him. That's the sign.
In the vision, was it daytime outside?
No, it was. It would have been at like a nighttime, so it's hard to tell if it was actually night or was it part of this time. And that does bring up a good question. It doesn't necessarily tell of a current event. It could tell of a past or a future event.
That's what Doc is thinking.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not so certain this person might be alive still.
Oh,
I'm not
he is.
unconvinced that what we saw was some sort of a vision of the past or perhaps the future. I'm not convinced that it's happening right now.
I can guarantee that this is
Oh.
not the past.
But he just said that the symbol on the man's forehead was from ancient.
I suppose they could be still practicing, but that would imply that this man is rather studied on my sister religion, and I'm not certain where one goes to do that anymore.
How are you so certain this isn't the past, Misty?
I am simply certain. I think we made a pact of friendship of sorts. Aren't you supposed to just trust your friends?
Thought you didn't. Misty, are you trying to manipulate me?
Why would I do such a thing? Friends don't do anything like that.
Well, you literally said like 10 minutes ago that you didn't want to be my friend.
I'm not saying now that I want to, but the pact was made.
Verbal contract has been established.
And witnessed. Well, I've made no such pact. Although I wouldn't mind your friendship, nonetheless. Friends
You
are
initiated
also
this
open.
pact, didn't you?
I'm merely a witness, and even still, friends tend to be open and honest with each other.
I'm being open and honest. I could have just fucked off and left you here and to do my thing, but no, I'm here and I'm trying to help you.
That's good.
All right.
Well, let's
How
be
about
open
this?
and honest on our way towards the Standing Stones then.
Well, if Misty is correct, if we need to rush to this man, then we should head back to the village and give them their food, and then go, forgetting all else. But that's assuming this man is alive today, now. And Misty, you seem to know something about that, so... where
Well,
is he?
if this man is so important, perhaps we will see yet another vision of him.
God, you're so annoying.
And we are still standing here.
Yeah. I really question my decision to go with you, but yes. Yes, we will do what you want to do. So what do you want to do, Mr. Doc?
I want to go to the Standing Stones. So let's go.
Let's go.
Tally-ho.
All right, excellent. I'm glad that this is settled. See, our friendship already grows as we settle conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Come along, Misty, I'll lead you.
Yes.
It's been a stressful 10 minutes.
We all start heading to the Standing Stone. And as we do, I'm gonna start whistling.
Oh my god. Oh
Very
my god.
Very upbeat jingle.
Okay. That's
Nice.
worse. Okay, so you guys begin to travel on. It's about 2 in the afternoon if we think of it like that. And so you know that you can reach the Standing Stones this evening. So a couple things. Do we want to set up any scenes while we're walking, or anything like that? And do you want to make the Standing Stones tonight and see what happens in the darkness, or wait until the eclipse sun comes out? What is the mindset? What's the timeline?
The faster we do that, the better. That would be Misty's kind of thought, so she would like to do it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think Borg would agree with that logic because he's rather trusting, and so he doesn't suspect Misty was being
Facetious.
tricky. He
Oh.
thinks she really honestly knows something, and so he's like, no, we need to go find that guy now. Misty said we have to find that guy. We have to go find that guy now. So let's hurry up and get all the rest of this done. Quick.
That was
So
not
that's-
a trick.
He's kind of like, that's his thing, is he wants to get the side quests done as fast as possible to get to this mystery man that has bothered Misty.
Doc's reasons are not even that deep. He just doesn't know if the sun's coming back up, so he's like, why not go now?
Why not go now? Okay, so since there is no real difference between day and night, that kind of makes sense. So we began to walk that way, and you guys find a trail, able to slowly but surely head east, and yeah, time passes. We do see animal life once in a while. Very, very malnourished creatures begin to appear. A couple of them may try to be brave and try to approach you, but they're very easily kind of shoot off. But there is a sense that animals are in like survival mode instinct. They're not flourishing as they should. Do we want any scenes as we move forward?
But just that would depend. The animals that approach, are any of them cute and fluffy and or good for combat?
You want this one?
Yeah.
Or that doesn't show up. But I was looking at this one today too.
Oh god.
Might be good for combat, but my god.
Yeah, my god, that's
Try going into town with that thing.
Okay. I mean, there are like some animal life. You can probably find a couple of squirrels and birds. You can find maybe a small pack of wolves that are easily backs away from you.
yeah, I wouldn't mess with the wolves. Not in a pack either.
Maybe an elk or a deer of some sort once in a while. So are any of those cute and fluffy or good for combat? That's up for you to decide. But
Nah, I would let those. I would let those go. If I ever came across a lone wolf, I might feed it and see if it'll follow me.
okay.
But not a whole pack. You feed a hungry pack and you're just gonna cause combat. So just move on onto the stone.
Sounds good.
And Doc has no inclination to approach anyone. He's just sort of traveling quietly with his thoughts and leading Misty and making sure the group doesn't get separated.
Okay. Another possibility would be to make camp at the Standing Stones, if that's not creepy.
Assuming there's nothing accosting us once we get there.
Yeah, that could be an option.
I mean, do we know how close the lake is to the Standing Stone?
It would be a good day's walk for sure, from the Standing Stone to the lake. You know, roughly like I mean we're in difficult terrain settings because you're through a forest, but you know, roughly like 8-10 miles. You can probably get there in about 8-9 hours, just based on pacing, unless you just like jog it the way there. But you
So we want to make it to the lake at night. I know that much.
so yeah, if you leave the next day, in theory, you should be able to get there like right before dusk.
Yeah. Okay.
Great. So we are gonna keep walking, and it seems like Doc and Misty are kind of taking point. Amira is following back, and Bork is looking at fluffy animals. And how we get to the Standing Stone? Perception checks, please. Receive on the right hand side.
And just a note to the DM, I get +2 to spot anything that's purposefully trying to hide from me.
Okay. Get that as a halfling.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got keen senses or keen eyes.
Keen eyes.
I think I actually did a thing for it. Yeah, there it is.
So what is yours? The check is 18.
If they're hiding from me, yeah.
As we begin to approach the Standing Stones, we do see these three creatures kind of there. One of them appears to be relieving itself on one of the sides of the Standing Stones. Another one seems to be kind of like sniffing the air and kind of like growls in the general direction of the party. And we see these like almost rat's dog-like creatures. There's 3 of them in front of you within the Standing Stones. You're still off the map, maybe about 120 feet or so, and we see these. These creatures haven't noticed you yet, but they have a scent, and Doc will be aware of this. Demir as well. What would you like to do?
There's something up ahead of us.
Of course.
Friend or foe?
What do you think? It's never easy. Definitely a foe.
Well, I'm not certain I'd call wild animals a foe, but
What kind of animals? Are they edible or?
well, anything's edible with enough determination.
You want to give me a nature check? Anyone can give me this one. So now that you are aware of it, Misty, you can kind of take a look and you can see these 3 dog-like creatures. These are called goblin dogs, and sometimes their pelt is used as a poison because a lot of people are allergic to it. They have something called goblin pox, which is known to make people sick. Probably don't want to eat it. Or if you do, you need to be very careful on how you prepare it.
Okay, so then I take a peek, and then I look back at my party members, and I say, "God damn, that's goblin dogs. Probably poisonous. Worthless."
Are they violent? Good for fighting?
I would say that their intelligence is equal minus 100. You know, it's better just to, shoot them away if they attack, kill them, but, that's all.
Alright then.
Disgusting creatures, if you ask my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah, look, Let me give you something that might help make this situation easier.
Magic weapon? How does this look like when you cast it?
So it probably looks like Doc. Well, first he will need to like touch the weapon, and so with his thumb he probably draws what looks like a temporary rune on the pommel of it, and the whole thing like glows blue for a second.
It increases the damage dice to 2, so you roll 2 damage dice?
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah.
What's your damage dice, Lawrence? Oh, like 2d6?
It's on 1d12 plus 6 when I'm raging.
So you're not doing 2d12 plus.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right.
With +1 to hit.
With +1.
Yeah, magic weapon in this game is mint.
Okay, we do have a minute, so we'll say that if Bork commits to going forward, then you'll cast the spell. Just from a timing perspective, so you'll have several rounds with it. Is this a concentrate spell?
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Jesus.
It just lasts a minute.
That is dang.
Awesome.
All right.
Alright, game plan time.
I have a plan.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, so the girl, Doc, and I stay here. Borg goes and tries to pet one of those little bastards, and we will see what happens.
Fantastic. I love this
Awesome.
plan. And I'm just, for
The
those
girl.
of us who have
The girl.
weapons, make sure they're drawn just so that you're ready to shoot.
Yeah, sure. Just go.
Got it. Alright.
Bork, as you enter in, you finally get a glimpse at these standing stones, and they do have like hieroglyphics amongst them. Taking a look at it, we do see religious symbolism.
Okay.
But we'll keep that in mind as you move forward. Yeah. So these this one closest to you that was currently kind of sniffing approaches maybe 25 feet and kind of gives like a low sound towards you. Like
As he gives a lurger sound, I am going to pull out a single ration, break off a small piece, come around this corner here, and toss the piece somewhere out that way.
yeah, give me a nature check. This is command an animal sort of thing. Well,
Solid.
Right?
hey, he's gonna start just barking at you, and he's going to move past the ration for a second. Like, bark, and snatch the ration and then move back.
Alright.
And then they start like tussling for the ration.
Nothing bad. I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. Position yourselves accordingly. Here we go.
And I come up to here now.
Okay, as you do that, all three of them begins to get that in that growling stance as you approach.
Alright. And once again, using a trail ration as the same ration, mind you. I break off another couple pieces since there's more of them. And I'm gonna toss them forward as if trying to bribe them somewhere in that direction.
Which direction? Okay. This one is going to roll up for the ration, but these two to the right here. Seem very offended by this, and we will roll initiative. Nothing like
May
that.
I roll my stealth for initiative?
We can take the 23, I think, if you'd like.
Cool. Yep, I'm down with that.
Go ahead and re-roll and then change the number.
That's funny.
They're called goblin dogs. It's like ROUS instead.
Funny enough, Doc can actually speak Goblinoid.
I don't think they can speak goblin though.
I don't think so either. But it is a funny coincidence.
If they are mounted by a goblin, they have a juke ability. Which is always interesting. So Misty is a 12.
14 plus 2. No, like it was
Yeah.
12 plus 2, so
Fair,
14.
14. Got it. So this one here seems to be preoccupied with his ration, seemingly swayed by Orc's wiles. But the other two seem pretty offended, and they're going to begin to charge forward. But Doc has the first step.
Doc will, seeing them charge.
Yeah, you can see.
To this one, pretty much.
This is that the one you're pointing at is the one eating the ration. He's the one that did it.
That was the one that I just saw run forward, right?
Yeah, to the ration. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that
Yeah.
would be a threat.
Yeah. The Doc probably didn't see the ration being thrown. He probably just sees that one run forward and is like, oh, it's go time. Especially when the others start barking. So, pulling his holy symbol up from his neck, he shoots forth from it another divine lance. Great. I mean, they flat-footed, so they take -2 to their AC for what it's worth, but that's
That will miss, unfortunately.
yeah. Awesome.
Bummer.
Lance goes whiz into the distance, probably striking a tree behind it, or the stone.
Are free actions allowed to be taken out of turn? Like they usually in the first one?
Mostly, yeah.
Alright, in that case, after he sees his party basically getting ready to open fire, Bork looks over his shoulder at them all, and free action, I know he only has a few seconds, so he's just gonna go.
The one to the furthest left, leave it alive. The other two, fair game.
All right. Do you have another action?
Oh, he will draw his hand crossbow.
Good.
As an action.
Cool. This one's gonna continue eating the piece of jerky on the floor. It's like one of the things where Doc was trying to shoot it, and it's like trying it tilts his head backwards, trying to like chew on this jerky thing, and just the movement of the head cause it to fly over it, and will stay alive, seemingly unfazed. Misty, you're up.
Well, I want to sneak. All the way as much as I can.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth.
23.
Yeah, I can't beat that. So you're able to remain hidden, and because we're in the middle of the night, we do have full darkness setting, so it's low light technically, but you have free range to kind of sneak around where you want.
Awesome. How many squares I can go?
I believe as a human you can go 5 per action. So if you want to use both of your stride actions, you get 10 squares.
Is this is this wall low enough that I could just pass it by, or do I need to go around it?
No, you can go over it, yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Is that 4?
That's 3. That's 4 right there.
4. 5. I am trying to wait over here. So I have many actions to go.
So you can roll another 5 squares if you want.
How?
Because you have 2, you can spend 2 stride actions. You've only spent 1 so far, so you can move and take a second one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go. Nice, so, from like Doc and Demir's perspective, you just see like sneaking across the field.
Like watching film I shot.
Demira.
Demira's standing back, kind of just hugging her sides and glancing at the others. And she just walks over to here with 2 stride actions and just watches Bork, looking pretty dejected.
Yeah, one more action. You want to spend it on anything?
No, she's not gonna do anything. She's just watching Bork.
Alright. I have 30 feet of movement. So this one, this dog is going to move up to Bork with 1 stride action, and it is going to attack with its jaws. It's going to do a second attack at a -5. 13 will probably also miss.
Yep, miss.
This one will also take 2 stride actions. We'll get here and begin to get behind it, so it's going to catch you.
Oh, actually, hold on. One's an 18, right?
One's a 13 because it was a attack penalty.
I had a -5 for multi-attack.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, yeah, you missed then.
But this one around its back is going to try for its 3rd attack and miss. So you got these goblin dogs scratching at your feet.
Oh god, this is gonna be awesome.
Work.
Alright. Bork looks at the 2 that are attacking him. And he's gonna
I just wanted to be your owner!
and this makes it very, very angry.
That's how we symbolize the ring. Nice. So
So
22.
then I gotta roll extra damage, right?
So first one will hit.
Right.
You can go ahead and
then
roll an
that's the
extra d12.
damage. Yeah, there's the extra damage, 21. So it did a total of 1 damage, right?
So it's 20 damage and then just the d12. So we'll take the 12 on the dice here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
And
my strength bonus doesn't apply?
no,
No, the strength bonus only applies once. The rune just makes the weapon hit with 2 dice.
Gotcha. So okay, gotcha.
but that's enough to defeat this one pretty evenly. Just one axe down, and gone. Smithereens.
Alright, and then
Somehow it hacks into 3 pieces, even though you've only chopped 1.
and he's gonna use the momentum of that attack to hit the other one.
Oh, and it's got sweep. That's so good.
Okay, and then this one goes down too. Jesus,
Oh, that was beautiful.
Damn it.
this encounter was above your party level.
Yeah, I prepared this time after last time you sent us something like that. I was like, magic
Oh my
weapon,
gosh.
taking it, giving it to the
Alright.
biggest hitter.
We're going to
Bork is just disgusting.
we're gonna
Oh
go
my gosh.
red caps next time. Just 3 red caps.
Bork
So,
still
after
probably
he,
would have just killed them both.
Yeah.
After he kills them that quickly, he's gonna look like he hits this one 2 more times, right? Then stops, starts taking a deep breath, looks at them both dead and goes, hold on.
Oops. They're dead.
Yes, well done, Bork.
This combat lasted 6 seconds.
He's gonna stow his axe and look to the one that's still feeding. And give him the rest of the ration that he had been breaking up into pieces to feed them. And he's gonna, he's gonna do the whole here, boy,
Give me another nature check.
Here, boy. Come here, boy. Who's a hungry little? Whatever you are. Goblin dog thing.
Okay, so are you dropping at your feet or are you holding it into your hand?
I'm gonna say he's actually gonna be holding it out. He's gonna be like, he's trying to get him to approach to eat the food. So he's like, holding it out to him. Battle music still continues because Bork's about to get eat. Do I get any bonuses to the fact that I've already been feeding this little dude?
After
Or that I killed
killing its 2 other dogs.
Yeah, after killing its 2 companions.
Dude, it was so
Is he, like-
fast they probably didn't even notice.
He
Yeah.
notices now.
Gonna give me a fortitude saving throw. Okay, so it kind of comes up to you and kind of like licks you, licks the thing, and then licks you, and then kind of like scratches the side of his head as this dandruff just comes off him and onto you. You are sickened. But it seems friendly.
Oh, he's so cute. But needs a bath. Definitely needs a bath.
Needs
I shall call you Fluffy.
beer
Very
feet.
dirty creatures.
This is a perfect pet for a half-orc, though. Come on.
You need to get him some head and shoulders.
I agree.
Uh,
Doc is like, ugh.
While the party's looking at the dirty rat dog thing, Demira quietly walks over to one of the stone pillars and is going to try to read aura on it.
Okay. So this is specifically on an item, or is this so you target an object? Okay, cool. It's specifically this one. Yeah, it's magical. And it has, when you look at it, it doesn't have a school of magic, but you do sense primal energies coming from it.
Demira just like places a hand on it, looks at it.
Okay.
And then just waits.
You mentioned there was religious symbology somewhere, or symbolism.
Oh, yeah. As you kind of like take a look around, all around these standing stones, there's religious symbology. So we can take this stone by stone if you want, and we can see if we can cut through it. Just for expedience, if you're planning to investigate all the stones.
Yeah, at least cursorily, he'll try and get an idea of which ones mean what.
Okay.
While he's doing that, though, I think Orc would at this point be looking for Demira. So he's gonna, while Doc is looking around, I'd like to do like a real quick role play there. That's all right.
Go for it. Yeah.
Dammy, look at Dammy, where? Demira?
And he's gonna stand up and start looking around.
She's in plain sight, but she looks kind of out of it. She just has a hand on this pillar and is looking at it.
What is once he notices her, he's gonna come walking up, and then I am going to see if he realizes that she's upset. What would that fall under? There's no sense motive anymore, huh?
Let me check the skills real quick.
So what would you use?
There is a sense motive. It's wrapped into perception.
Yeah, I
now,
think it's under
believe.
perceive. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can try to perceive.
Oh wow.
And that wow.
Critical success.
Sorry, my kitten.
So,
Ouch.
you can use sense motive to give yourself a hunch. Use the skill involves making a gut assessment of a social situation, and the DC is supposed to be 20 for this hunch. So
Gotcha.
you made it.
So should I describe?
I'm curious about how if you're trying to hide your discomfort at all. Are you kind of just like moving yourself very inward, or is there like a visible element to it besides your quietness?
She's just, outwardly, she's just become very quiet, is keeping her distance from the group, and wasn't planning on participating in the scuffle. Bork could probably tell that she...
She's upset.
Yeah, she's there's certainly something off or wrong, I think, but Christopher, what do you think?
I think I don't want to use the word aura, but I think there when we see people, there's kind of like an outward projection of their emotions. Like when you see people happy, they're like glowing, And when
that's usually your subconscious mind picking up on the micro expressions and facial expressions,
right,
body
so
language of the individual. So right now, maybe her eyes are sunk down a little lower. And,
I'll say-
that hint of sadness. Or
You know what I'll say is Bork has probably noticed, like, over time with the group, Demira has been speaking up a little more and
Right.
contributing a little more.
But yet,
And
these
now
past several hours,
suddenly,
she's been silent.
now suddenly she's right back to basically how she was when she first met everyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
I am. I also imagine that she's just like a fraction always just kind of slower behind the party. While you were walking beforehand, she was keeping up with the party, trying to make small talk, and now it's like you can always have to like double check to make sure she's still following. And I think that is probably the biggest indication, as well as some of the facial expressions, which you are noticing now. And we can kind of pick up on those social hints. How do we play social keys in D&D or Pathfinder? That's always a question. But yeah, you can pick up on that.
Dammy, are you alright?
Huh? Sorry, what, Bork?
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm fine.
No, you're not. What's wrong?
It's no big deal. Doesn't matter.
It matters to me, because it seems to matter to you. You're sadder, more reserved. You're going inward. Why?
It's nothing. I was being foolish. It's fine, Bork. Don't worry about it.
Foolish? I don't think so. I think you've been doing amazing. You've been doing such a great job. But ever since we left the cave, was it the Dark Elves?
No.
Was it the vision with the goblin?
It's work, it's just Misty just
Misty would have approached Doc where he's trying to investigate those stones, and she would lean back against those stones so that she, because Doc is facing them, so she leans back that she could kind of face Doc, and she would say, "So, how in the world those useless things are going to help us in any way? They're all dusty. I can swear I saw a couple of spider webs."
Sorry, what? Doc says, looking up from the stone.
God. I was saying that these stones are useless. What are you going to do about them?
About them? We aren't going to do anything about them.
So why we are here? Why are we wasting our time?
Oh, that is what I am figuring out now, actually. As soon as I can find the stone that is most likely coordinated with your mark and Demira's mark, I want to see if you can interact with it somehow. And if nothing comes of that, then that's... Hey, I'm talking. Don't interrupt me when you ask me a question. And once we do... I'm talking, and then once we see if you can interact with the stone in some way, we will go from there. But that is the plan I have in mind at the moment.
Can I talk now?
I'm done talking, so yes, help yourself.
Oh,
it all just reminds me that say doesn't. It just doesn't.
It does matter. I want you to understand that. You and I might be the lesser members of our respective families, but we are still in a certain level of authority, position, which means you matter. Everything you say, everything you feel, even if you want, it would matter. Misty, I don't know. She seems like she's hiding, like she's afraid.
Okay, so there's a problem. I don't
Uh-huh.
actually have time.
How do you know?
Well, there's this thing. Can I tell you in full confidence something I wouldn't want those, two riches knowing?
Doc kind of like raises an eyebrow and is like, "Are you asking me to be friends?"
More like sort of partners in crime.
Crime, he says, putting a hand to his chest.
Mm-hmm.
My good lady, what do you ask of me? My good sensibilities.
I mean, sure, if you want to, just hang out with the cute couple out there, you can do that. But, I have quite an adventure waiting for me, and I don't have time to waste on this, and I'm like asking for you to just help me. I guess we can't get rid of them, so they could go with us, but we need to convince them that they have to go with us.
I know she would never admit such a thing, but I bet you, given time, she's gonna be your best friend. It's just the idea of that. Well, for some people, it can scare them. Caring about someone, it can be scary.
At this point, Doc will kind of like lean around Misty a minute just to kind of like make sure that those two are enwrapped in their conversation. And Doc will come back with, to be quite honest, they seem quite amiable to do whatever might be requested of them. At least the big one will, and she, Demira, will most likely follow.
That's actually good for us,
Yes,
Really
I know.
can be of use. One does magic, the other is like really strong, so we can
Okay,
get
okay.
away.
What is this thing you are trying to tell me in confidence?
Yeah, so see, that guy we saw, in this magical bubble of that girl.
Right, with the blood and the eating it and the eye on the forehead. Yes, I was there.
Yeah, well, I think if I understood everything correctly, he might be looking for a person whom I need to find before that other guy finds.
What makes you think they were seeking out someone that you might know? Did you see something in the vision?
They said something about he's looking for a thief maker.
So, who is this thief maker, and what is their connection to you?
Well, you see, if it's if we are talking about the same person, and I, for some unknown reason, definitely feel that it's going to be the same person, because he is everywhere. Like, he has his hands in everything what he can have. Kinda was, is kinda like my boss, sort of.
You're very sweet, Bork, and I appreciate the sentiment, but people like me, they fade into the background. Nobody really notices them, and they don't really change anything, and that's just the way it's always going to be. Misty and Doc, if I was gone tomorrow, they wouldn't bat an eye.
I disagree completely.
I think you were released from employment when you died.
You see, while I might have been released, thing is that, well, that night something really terrible happened, and let's just say that I have a very urgent feeling of revenge in me. I mean, if that guy, this orc said that this guy can, be hired, to do terrible things, and I don't want that he would do terrible things to the thief maker if he's looking for him, because it's me who's supposed to do terrible things to him.
Well, I can certainly understand that sentiment. How about this? If you join into our fold we seem to have forming here and become amiable to myself and the other two, I will try and steer us to finding this thief maker. It shouldn't be all that difficult. I mean, I've found plenty of people in the past.
Do you know how many fate people I've met in my life? 2. Do you know how many prophets I've met in my life? 1. I've lived my life among humans, and I can tell you, among them, individuals like you are in high regard. Among my mother's people, the orc, you are revered. You most certainly will never fade in the background. The things you can do, who you are, the destiny that swirls around you. You're gonna leave your mark on this world, Demira. And I believe you already have started to.
Yeah, but that guy in the vision, he seemed to look sorry, but more professional than you are, and he might find the thief maker faster than you will do, and then I will kind of not get a chance to, do terrible things to that man.
Well, unless you know where this man is, I'd say I have a better chance of finding him before you do, even.
Maybe you're right.
How are you so sure all of this?
How do I explain it? In each of us, I can see the full potential. On the outside, when one looks at a seed, all they see is just that. For some, it might represent food. For others, a tiny thing to be forgotten. But I see a tree, and I see the fruit on that tree. You are not a seed, you're a sapling, and I can see it already. And I can see the fruit that it will bear, and in Misty as well. You merely need to learn how to see yourself, as I do now. And when you doubt it, look to the mark that the gods have placed upon you, that the Fae have placed upon you. That should tell you enough by itself. The gods trust you in that potential. When you doubt it, look to that mark, and remember, I believe in you, and you trust me. So, believe in yourself, because you trust me, and I'm no fool. I wouldn't believe in you if you weren't worth believing in.
I mean, okay.
We're
I-
friends now, so trust me.
I mean, I kind of trust you because, I don't know. You said that the destiny joined us, connected for a big purpose. So I don't know. It was something interesting out there back in the forest, with us happening. But
Let me put it like
okay.
this then. It is in your best interest to trust me.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. So we are the team, right? And we will do things, and you know now that I'm looking for someone, and you will help finding me that person, and that's a deal, right?
He says.
I extend my hand. Sorry.
He sort of waves out to encompass the other two as well, and says, "We must be a team. Unfortunately, we must see to the needs of all members of our party if we are expect them to help them with ours. So, our needs are our needs."
I mean, okay, we are the team, they are the team. We are both two teams who are going north, and that is why we decide to go together, because that's more safe. Like, it's a question, but it's safe. I mean, if the orc will keep singing, I'm not sure how it's going to be safe, but...
Doc just sighs and is like, "However you wish to word it in your head. The point is we all must work together."
I'll try. I think that's the nicest thing anybody has said to me since. And she pauses and kind of just wraps her arms around herself and then shakes her head and says, "Well, a long time. Thank you." And she kind of moves towards Borg and then stops and just looks awkward.
When she moves towards him, as soon as she stops, he goes in the rest of the way and pulls her in for a hug.
Remember in yourself. Believe in yourself. And as for Misty, I'm sure there's a reason she fears us getting close to her. Time, patience. She means that for us. We must earn her trust, earn her friendship, so that she can heal as well.
Okay.
Okay, but our task is that man, right?
Yes.
Now it has to be the priority.
Yes.
Awesome. So do whatever you have to do here with those stones. I will just go and get some fresh air.
Well, you shouldn't have to go far, but stay close because I might need you shortly.
Yep.
She hugs him back for a moment and then pulls away and nods.
He lets her go, kind of gives her a little tip on the chin, kind of like that whole thing, and walks away smiling. And as he does, he scruffles the head of Scruffy, and it's like,
That's a good Fluffy. Come on. Good boy. Come on.
and he goes walking away with Fluffy, whose name really should be Scruppy, but we're gonna call him Fluffy. Yeah, as he then goes,
Demira smiles at him as he walks away and glances at Misty and Doc, who may or may not have seen all that.
With that, Doc is in particular looking for the stones that might align with Misty and Demira.
Okay. Well, this is pretty straightforward. I don't think. Make sure I'm not muted. I don't think we need checks for this. So the symbolism of of the Fae and the Shadowfell and the heavens and the hells are well known. It is not anything that that provides any sort of surprise. Because when we look at this, especially the south one, and we can see the symbolism of Mephisto, the devil, the person in charge of the hells, and we can see sort of the symbolism that it is on here. It's pretty obvious. This is some form of standing stone that represents who this person is. And as we go around this inner circle specifically, we do see the one to Morgan, Persephone, and Pan being kind of the satyr god who rules the Feywild. Morgan is the lady of the Shadowlands. Persephone, the leader of the heavens, and Mephisto, the person who leads the hells. And we can see their symbolism. It does kind of tell a story that is very, very particular to their own Bibles and symbolism that represents their. Persephone will talk about righteousness and piousness. Mephisto will talk about Mephisto's storyline kind of talks about like being the best person you can be and being strong to the point of maybe harm to other people. It's kind of the extreme of that. Pan talks about joy and curiosity and carelessness, and Morgan talks about this sense of I don't want to say stoicness, but the sense of being very, very strong core center in your beliefs and having your worldview, and we can stand in the middle and see all four without too much trouble. I think everyone can notice that to varying degrees from the four in the inner shell. As you kind of look around towards the outer shell, we do see symbolism for the elemental planes. We do have the Ifrit stone, Shiva, Titan, Rama. But what is of note is that this stone directly to the north is complete.
Whose stone is it supposed to be?
If you want to use the process of elimination, it would be the sun.
Oh, well, that's a lot.
So we can see Raksha, Siren, Luna, Brahma, all the major gods. But Soul, what you would imagine would be for Soul, is completely empty.
Doc goes, of course my god is missing. Of course.
Does Misty? So we'll say the conversation between Bork and Demira is over at this point. Does Misty actually go over to this standing stones to the right?
Yeah, where I put my icon. She goes there and leans back against that thing.
So
and just looks at the rest.
These are like archways, standing stones that go into arches, and as you kind of lean back to take this moment of respite, your mark begins to go wild. You can feel it's beginning to burn the same way like when you originally, you're on the left side, originally got the brand. From everyone's perspective, we can see that within this archway itself, something begins to appear. This kind of purplish light begins to emit from the outer, from within the archway itself.
Busy
I think around the same time Demira approaches the one she sees for Pan, because she knows her mark is of the Fae.
Yeah, and the same thing happens. So you look over to this mark. Your mark begins to feel like you're getting branded. Just this intense heat, just enough to kind of distract you, not enough to lose focus on the situation around you, as a green light begins to appear on the left side of these standing stones.
Well, that confirms one of my theories.
And as you guys, as Misty steps away from it, the pain in the mark goes away, but this archway still begins to have this purple interior.
Demira's gonna touch this archway, see if anything happens.
Yeah. So same thing. The portal opens. It is this green pain in the right shoulder. And if you let go of it, the pain will subside, but the portal will open.
Okay. Anyone know anything about the planes?
Seems we find ourselves in some rather destined company.
I have no idea what you just said, and in general, why it is me. Like, why me? I still don't get it. Why?
You could poke your head through that light and perhaps you'd find out.
Oh no, thank you. I love my head.
Perhaps
Where's your sense of curiosity?
I don't think so. If the gods marked me, they did it for their own wicked purposes. They don't care about us. They are like just pricks. And
Come on now, that's not true.
oh, really? If they care about us, why they I just know that they don't care about us.
Demira tries to put her hand through the light.
Oh, we have someone willingly participating in the experiment.
Yeah. Nothing happens. Besides your hand disappears through it. So I guess something happens. That was a bad way to phrase it. Something happens. You stick your hand through it and feel a wind current, but no pain or anything like that.
We're just gonna try to look into it.
Yep. And what happens as you kind of like look through, stick your head through it? We see these large trees. They go up beyond your eyesight, and we see this huge leaf, probably about 60 feet in length and 40 feet in width. It's huge. It kind of blocks out the sun. Next thing we see, quickly bounding through some of these branches and these large leaves, is a squirrel, perhaps the size of a giant ape, if you want to think of like a King Kong status, kind of bounding through this area with speed and expertise.
Lord, what did you find?
And
Is there actual sunlight?
there's sunlight, yeah.
Oh.
Demira calls out to the squirrel to see if it hears her. Hello?
Okay. Let me find this character sheet real quick. Did Doc and I sent some of you some messages. Did you guys get them? Just check roll 20 real quick.
Yep. I was
Okay.
waiting for a moment to address that, but as you can probably see a response on the map.
Oh, cool. So yeah, the squirrel comes down from the tree, bounds there, and as it's this weird sensation because your head's through the portal, and you can feel your head shake from the squirrel landing on the ground, but your legs are perfectly stable, right? So there's this kind of like currently the sense of like clearly in two different places, clearly a portal, and this squirrel comes up to you and goes, let's see.
Hello?
Oh, hi. Does it speak Sylvan? She'll try to say something in Sylvan. Hello?
Oh, hi.
Oh! Hi! Where am I right now?
My name's Kimberly.
Oh, hi, Kimberly. I'm Demira. Where are we right now?
Oh. Summer's canopy.
Sorry, what canopy?
Summer.
Summer? Summer.
Yes.
Okay, and where is the summer canopy located?
Between the span of winters and spring woods, I think. No. You take a left, you'll get into the autumn fields? No. Feywild, we're in the Fey.
Oh, wow. Wow. Demira kind of prepares to duck out in case anything happens because she has bad experiences with creatures interacting with this, but she'll show her mark and say, "Do you know anything about this?"
Looks cool.
Oh, okay.
The squirrel does a thing where he like looks left and looks right, and it looks like the leaf is swaying, but you know, nothing, no recognition at all.
Okay, thank you. I might be back in a few minutes, but you can go if you want to.
Have fun.
Nice to meet you. Demira, pulls back out here, turns around and says, "I just talked with a giant squirrel in the Feywild."
And as you see this, we see this kind of almost poetic thing. Bork is heading to the North Stone, and Doc is heading to the south. Bork being the for the goddess Persephone the Pious, I think is her title. And Doc going to touch the stone of Mephisto. Breaker, did you have a what were you doing with the stone?
Whatever that outline was that he caught a sight of, he wants to like trace it, I guess, to the best of his ability.
Okay.
And see if it presents a shape or a word or some symbol. Something, whatever.
So we'll do Bork first. Bork heads up to this thing, touches the symbol, and scratches his chin. And as he does that, he also begins to feel this pain on his right shoulder, right below the shoulder, on his arm, and it feels this branding sense. And we begin to see this portal begin to open as well, that has this yellow light in between. Doc gets the same sensation on his left shoulder as this portal of red begins to open. And as we begin to look within, the four portals begin to open as Demira exits this portal and tries to interpret this new sensation going on. We begin to feel this magic begin to emanate, and it's overwhelming. There were even Borg, who has no connection to any sort of magical power source, can feel the simple presence. It becomes harder to breathe. You immediately begin to tense up. There's this sense of overwhelming something beginning to pervade your senses, let alone the pain that Doc and Borg are feeling from this pain on their left and right shoulder. I will give Misty the first action. What is Misty going to do?
Misty withdrew from her stones and was just like observing more what Demira was doing. But when she sees that Doc ventures to the other stone, and Doc, when you feel pain, are you like shouting, screaming, making any noises?
That was gonna be my question. Like, where are we on the pain scale? Like, 10 being to say like can't think straight. It hurts so bad.
Probably like a 5 or a 6. Like you're not so in pain that you don't have like a wherewithal of your situation, but it hurts. Like it's enough that you want to make it stop.
Okay. It is probably not shouting or screaming, but his jaw's probably tense, and he might like.
Yeah, I would
Yes,
go
I'm
to.
I'm
to
fine.
Him. Are you sure you're fine?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You
It's
don't look
momentary.
fine.
Yep. Nope. Pain is momentary. It will pass.
Oh, you feel pain?
Yep. He
Show
pushes
me your-
aside
Uh-huh.
the robe on his right side to reveal what I assume is a mark forming. And it looks like a...
Okay, so you take a look at this this thing that begins to appear on your left shoulder, and when you take a look at it, it almost looks like an incomplete circle that kind of heads inward and creates this pattern. If we look towards the center, right at the center, we do see hellfire symbology here. We see that there is kind of these jagged lines that represent kind of the manipulative nature of it. This is religious symbology, manipulative nature of the hellfire symbol. The symbol itself you probably haven't seen before, but you recognize elements of it to represent that, and there is a symbol on the map for you. Let's cut to Demira real quick. Demira, what do you do? Coming out and seeing this moment of intense pain from both your betrothed and your acquaintance.
Well, Damaris does that thing that she just talked to a giant squirrel in the Feywild, and then she looks kind of amazed at the portal. Like, she feels the pain, the overwhelming magic, but she's not afraid of it. She's more intrigued, and she's almost trying to, like, let whatever is happening happen.
Fair enough. Or what are you up to?
Alright. So Bork is going to look down at whatever it is that's forming on his, you said it's his upper arm?
Yes, upper, you're on the right side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, alright. So he's looking at it and just watching it form.
Cool. So are you wearing a shirt or something?
He's wearing chainmail.
Okay, so you can kind of pull the chainmail up to the shoulder.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
so he pulls it up and is just kind of checking it out. And with that fortitude, he's just sort of ignoring the pain completely. Like, he's not even expressing it at all. He's just like,
Perfect. And you look at this and you see these kind of almost like metal angel wings begin to appear on your right side.
He looks back towards the rest of the group.
Hey guys, now I've got a cool tattoo. Hey, Doc, what's going on over there?
Seems we have joined our destined friends,
Oh, I
he says,
see.
just kind of rubbing at the mark.
So, there it is. We've all been tattooed. Now we're all fate-marked. We are the Fate Squad.
I would say we are all fucked, but whatever.
I would say that Misty and Demir can begin to feel pain in their marks as well. And I think the pain kind of subsides. If we want to use the 1 through 10 pain scale, we can say it's like a 2. You know, just barely there, but present. Yeah. So we can yeah. What do you do?
Now, heading to the north has become even more necessary. We came here with questions, and now we only have more. Now 2 more of us are marked by the gods. Clearly, they are out to help us. Whatever it is that's happening with the sun. No doubt, we have been selected as champions, heroes, fated to save our realm.
And as he says this, the magic begins to intensify. And towards the center of these standing circles, we begin to see for a brief moment what looks like light, and it looks like sunlight actually. And it expands just slowly, and fits around this this thing that encompasses all the standing stone. This one, the standing stone up to the north, finally begins to fill with symbolism as we get this sunlight for this brief moment in this very, very small space. And there are words here as well, not just ones written in not just sort of symbolism. We see words on the soul stone.
A message.
Definitely
Oh.
check that out.
What does it say?
There are 4 who must be chosen, and 4 more who must be followed. To ensure that 1 man must die to return soul to his rightful place. Men will try to destroy the world while soul is suppressed. Men will die to protect the world, and their actions will be meaningless. Unless the man makes his sacrifice, the man who wields the most power must put his life forward. The man who has the most influence must die. Can the Fatemarked act, or will they turn away? Let it be said now that this prophecy is made, there is no happy ending. This is the day that Soul's life is on the line. This is the night of the Black Sun.
Doc just sort of goes pale.
Well. Alright then. So.
Can I say so? I told you. No happy ending. We are like a suicide squad. Things going down
Not
pretty
all of
badly.
us. Just me.
What do you mean, just you? Why just you?
The one with the most influence. That part right there. Not to sound boastful, I promise. It's just... I've been hiding something from you. I am... a grandson of a orc chief, and to the son of a noble lord.
I wouldn't say that was a big secret. I knew that you were a noble, like right from the moment I saw you. You just...
What? No! Oh, no way! I hid that! I hid that!
Well-
Sorry, no. I can smell the richness coming from you and your friend there.
I tried.
You spoke too well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to take note of that next time.
And you know
Try
so little
to,
about the real world.
Well.
That's true.
We got here on foot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right. That's also the point. No horses.
I can buy you horses if you like.
No, thank you.
Maybe.
Oh, good.
As you guys have this discussion, the light is going to begin to go back towards the center. It is going to diminish, and the portals will close.
Well, it seems one way or another. Our fates are laid before us.
Even if this prophecy is not necessarily about me directly, I can tell you this. It says, one man, so you two will live. And no offense to Doc, but his life is worth more if he remains alive. One of us is to make a sacrifice. It should be me.
Or we can turn away, because the prophecy very clearly says we have a choice. We can just turn away and they can find someone
at the
else.
cost of soul. Do you wish for the sun to never shine again? For the world to die in darkness?
I mean, I prefer this. Sun never was like my business. Usually was, it's darkness is good. Shadows, night. My work is at night.
Darkness cannot exist always. Understand? Soon
Why not?
will come. The plants will die. What will we then breathe? The sun has to come back, or else the world will die. And then, where will you get your riches? What good would your wealth do you? All that potential you have to become such a mighty woman. Wasted. Gone.
I have no
Because you
wealth.
let soul die. Don't think of this as an act for the gods. Think of it as an act for yourself at the least.
Okay, I will be very impolite. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm interrupting you, but I take a look at Doc. What are you going to say about this, Doc?
I think there's going to be a lot of difficult decisions ahead of us. And I think that perhaps we approached this initially with a sense of frivolity. And I think we still have to go north.
Of course.
That is where we were told to go with this.
But, that all being said, I've never truly believed that fate was out of our own hands. So, be it what be written on a magic stone or not, we are still alive, and while we are alive, we have the ability to make our own decisions and choose our own destiny. With that in mind, we might as well go north.
I thought you will go to the different end of that. Okay, it's still the north. Okay.
Well, I mean, we do
No.
still have a job to do.
Oh, yes, we do. Right.
Well, think of it like this. This job is what led us here in the first place, right?
Oh,
In order to
I think we are
learn
talking
this
about the different
information.
job.
We're talking about what we're doing here in the forest right now.
No. We're talking about the job we have to do.
Right. I'm talking about the job we have to do here in the forest right now.
Oh, not about that job.
Yes.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay, got it.
Now then,
Job.
yes, we wish to seek
Her
out.
job.
Sorry.
Her job. She said, not our job, but your job, as in the two of you. job was that about?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. But we are talking so much and we are not allowing this lovely lady to speak. What is her opinion about all this matter? And I take a look at Demira.
Demira looks a little surprised that Misty is speaking to her and letting her speak. She says, I think whether we like it or not, the fate of this realm is in our hands, and if we were to turn away, we could very well be dooming both ourselves and this land. I'm not going to make this choice for anybody else, but for, the first time in my life, it kind of feels like maybe I can make a difference. And I'm not just going to stand by while the world rots around me. And I'm not going to let work die.
So, north it is.
Wisely said, wisely said.
Lawrence, you're muted.
What?
I hear you.
I can hear you. It looked like your mouse was moving. Maybe you were talking about someone else.
We cannot let Doc die, and it's that simple. And if one of the two of us have to sacrifice ourselves, that totally leaves me. Either way, doesn't matter. As our good friend Doc was pointing out, he is right. We have a job to do here, then a job to head north, during which time we need to find this mystery assassin whose presence has bothered Misty. Whatever foul plan he has, we must smite it. He is, after all, an assassin after the highest regard of people. Whoever his target is, we must stop it. Doc, you have led us so far in a great and true way. What do we do next?
Well, he sort of looks to Demira, who he hasn't disregarded Demira up to this point, but she hasn't ever presented herself to the group before, so acknowledging that for the first time, and says, oh god, sorry, yours started ringing. Oh.
While talking to the mirror.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, sorry, you're ringing. Sorry. Now then, I am in agreement with Demira. It does seem like an opportunity to make a difference, and well, I have a feeling that was quite literally my God calling to us as a party right now, and so. In that way, I suppose I sort of feel obligated to answer. That being said, I couldn't ever ask anyone to accompany me on something that I knew was going to be particularly perilous. However, given the circumstances that we have all shared this experience so far, I can no longer say with confidence that it is only my decision to make anymore. However, from the way everyone has spoken, it seems we are in agreement that a few things must happen. We must find this man who has appeared in Demira's orb. We must learn who he is targeting, perhaps, this thief maker. And we must, well, we should probably see what this lady in the lake has to say, if anything. Didn't the elves in the cave, they mentioned she was of some importance to a prophecy, correct?
Sort of. More like, in the drow culture, they're meant to make a sort of pilgrimage to the outside, and they're trying to make a pilgrimage to her. As I said when I saw her for the first time in my orb, she is a demigod, to Luna. So...
Yes. It's all coming together now. Luna, a demigoddess to Luna, perhaps we could implore from them more knowledge as to this follower, this one with the eye on their head.
Yes, and maybe she'll know something about this prophecy, too.
Yes.
And just as a side note, rescue a boy, yes?
Yes, also
yes,
very
yes.
important, yes.
Yeah.
Also rescue the boy.
If the boy is still alive.
Because,
Yes.
well, even if he's not, we should at least bring his body so that Misty can get paid and the rest of us can sleep well at night.
I mean, he will pay us even if the boy is dead.
Yes.
I'm sure they will.
Return his body to his father, just as the gods would have if they had them. That's the service. Bring him, dead or alive, we get paid.
We just have to find him first.
And not kill him.
Yes, preferably.
Yes.
So, if anyone has any more business here at these stones, I suggest you do it now. We could, I suppose, make camp here for the night. We have traveled for most of what feels like the day, or perhaps I've forgotten what traveling overland feels like without the sun. I'm not quite certain, but how's everyone feeling?
Makes sense.
Been traveling for
Intense.
quite some time. And I wouldn't mind spending some more time here.
Well, if there's any place in this forest we're welcomed, I assume it's going to be here among these stones.
I just hope that more goblin dogs won't show up.
Yes.
Well, maybe
There's
Bork
that.
will make some more friends.
All right,
So,
this is as good of a time as any to fade to black. We fade to black with this symbolism of kind of a joint decision made about the next path. We get this image of these tattoos, the two right above the breast and the two on the shoulders, kind of pulsing as you are here amidst the heavy magic. We have the red outline of the demon tattoo, the yellow of Persephone, and even now, even amongst here, we will notice that the leaf has this slight green tinge, the skull has this light purple as well. As we begin to, like, the camera moves away from that scene. We will fade to black. Rock on.